Hey guys, welcome back to Money is Blind podcast. I'm your host Prasoon. This episode is about telling stories. So, if you are trying to become an entrepreneur and if you want to be a really successful entrepreneur, you should be a good storyteller. You must have read many stories as a kid. You must have read several hundreds of books, storybooks, short stories, long stories. In all those stories, the thing that hooked you, the thing that prompted you to complete that story, to read it completely, or if you were listening to a story from someone who narrated that story, the thing that kept you from listening to it completely till the end was the actual story. And human psychology is designed in such a way that we, Homo sapiens, that's the scientific name of human beings, we love to hear stories. And when we go deeper into our storytelling skills, when we describe each character, the environment, the scenario, the situation, the plots, the twists, and when we go into each of those details, when we try to make it real, when we tell it in the format of a story from the beginning, from a hero who is actually an ordinary person, a zero in the beginning of the story, who has to tackle a problem and the hardships he has to face in order to overcome that problem. And when he finally completes his tasks and achieves the goal, a story with a happy ending, that's the story most persons like. The journey of a hero. So you can learn a lot about storytelling. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been listening to many comedians, stand-up comedians, and the way they describe actual incidents, or I don't know whether they are actual or not, but the way they describe those incidents, twisting it up, presenting it in the format of a story. It could be trivial moments in life, but when they describe it in detail, it becomes a story, and that's story when they present it in a comical fashion with punchlines and double meanings and jabs and hooks here and there. That's their living. They get paid. You don't have to be an author, you don't have to be a writer. You just need to learn the skill of telling a story. And once you do that, you'll be able to tell stories about the products and services that your business sells. And that's what your users or customers are going to love. And these stories are going to resonate with them when they are trying to make a purchasing decision. The storytelling is an art, and you can practice this. You can practice the skill by telling stories to your kids, to your family members, to your friends, or you can even start a podcast to develop your storytelling skills. I'm trying to do this. I often narrate stories to my son, who is now turning 8 years old this next month. And sometimes even I become surprised on how my stories winds up in the end. Even I might not have thought about such climaxes. The endings of the story are completely not where I expected them to be when I started narrating that story. So you can easily make up a story and try to create a story. Try to create a story about your product, your services, how your products and services help a particular customer. Name him. How does he look like? What does he wear? Where does he live? What does he drive? And when you put in all those details, it's the recipe of a story. And when you do that, even if that story isn't that good, when you present your product or service in the form of a story, it is going to sell, because humans like stories. So how can you develop these storytelling skills? One thing, you can practice telling stories. You can practice to write more stories. You can read more books. You can listen to Audible or any other audiobook subscription service. And of course, you can learn many skills required for a blind entrepreneur in this show. So on that note, I'm signing off. Talk to you tomorrow. You guys take care. Bye bye.